Okay, it's 3:15. I'm going to start right back up here. Want to thank Kelly. I meant to say thank you, Kelly, and the previous panelists for a great start of the conversation on climate change. And with that, now we're pivoting to the Legacy Awards. We have 9 awards to deliver today. So I have a little story about each of our award winners I'll share with you. I put together a PowerPoint, and what I'm going to do is turn off my camera so you can just enjoy the photos and you don't have to look at me blah, blah, blah. We solicit nominations for candidates for the Legacy Awards every 2 years. Individuals, teams, and entities that have carried out exemplary work in the field of oil spill prevention, preparedness, and response. This award serves as the Taskforce's recognition for outstanding work and leadership and accomplishments to foster best practices to support and protect communities and to protect the environment. Legacy Awards are given to industry, nonprofit, governmental organizations, tribes and indigenous organizations, individuals, and nominees must be located or primarily operating in the task force jurisdictions of Alaska, British Columbia, California, Hawaii, Oregon, and Washington. So in the following presentation, I'll share a few highlights of these amazing people. At the conclusion of the presentation, I'll ask the award winners to flip on their video cameras and join the virtual stage to say a few words. So again, I'm going to go through all of the award winners, and then at the very conclusion of this presentation, I'll turn off the PowerPoint and flip on the virtual stage for our winners to come on and say a few words. So our first winner is Geoff Backman, Spill Response Coordinator for the Halalt First Nation. Geoff Backman single-handedly and successfully created, let me just move to the, there we go. Successfully created and manages the on-water spill response program for the Halalt First Nation and the neighboring Cowichan Nation Alliance members, nations on Vancouver Island. He has attended many spills and emergencies within Halalt First Nations marine and terrestrial territory and beyond. The spill response program that Geoff manages provides extremely detailed advice and problem-solving solutions and skills in spill prevented solutions. This program has been successful in attending and assisting in many complicated spills, both large and small, in and around the Halalt First Nation marine and terrestrial territories. Geoff and his program are vital for the Halalt First Nations emergency response and preparedness, and he's a strong advocate for Indigenous monitors during response events and further communications and engaging with First Nations during spill response incidents. We are all very grateful for Geoff's hard work and dedication to protecting the community, territory, and the environment. Congratulations, Geoff, on your Legacy Award. Our next award winner is Curtis Kumpler. He is the Deputy Director of Care Operations at the Oiled Wildlife Care Network. The Oiled Wildlife Response career of Kurt Klumpner spanned more than 3 decades. He was a founding member of the Progressive Animal Welfare Society Wildlife Rehabilitation Center outside of Seattle during the late 70s. He became involved with Oiled Wildlife Response in 1985 when he volunteered with International Bird Rescue during the Arco Anchorage spill in Washington state. Since then, Kurt has responded to spills around the world, including the Nestucca, the Exxon Valdez, the American Trader, the Apollo C in South Africa, the Arica spill in France, the Deepwater Horizon, and dozens of other spills. Along the way, Kurt transitioned to working full-time for the International Bird Rescue, ultimately spending more than 20 years as their preparedness director, developing site-specific wildlife contingency plans for clients around the world, as well as responding to oiled wildlife incidents. He worked with industry and agency partners to develop oil spill-specific wildlife response equipment for use in the region. And later he joined the Oiled Wildlife Care Network in Davis, California, where he served as the Deputy Director of Animal Care Operations until his retirement last year. Of all his contributions, perhaps none will have a long-lasting effect than the numerous trainings that he has delivered for wildlife responders around the globe. Kurt developed and delivered trainings for literally thousands of people around the world, from Azerbaijan to Brazil to Turkey and the US, each time sharing his dedication, passion, and expertise in caring for oiled wildlife. Kurt's long and exemplary career dedicated to improving oiled wildlife response through preparedness and training is legendary, and few individuals have done more for the oiled wildlife response during their career than Kurt Klumpner. Congratulations, Kurt, on your retirement and your legacy award. Marta Green, Puget Sound Recovery Coordinator in San Juan County, is our next award winner. Since 2016, Marta has provided committed leadership to develop and advance the San Juan Islands oil spill prevention strategy. In her role, she has successfully and effectively partnered with tribal representatives, nonprofit organizations, and state agencies to secure funding and deliver this important work. Her focus on evaluating strategies to prevent oil spills, informing the public about the risks, and evaluating options for protecting our environment and economic well-being are critically important to the region. In 2016, Marta spearheaded a workshop that brought together for the first time 4 local integrating organizations, marine resource committees, elders and representatives of 4 tribes, and the Puget Sound Partnership. She partnered with renowned experts on 2 key projects addressing long-standing data gaps. One was the oil spill risk consequences to San Juan County and emergency response towing vessel cost evaluation. And the second was a vessel drift and response analysis for inland waters from the Strait of Juan de Fuca to the southern Strait of Georgia. Come on, let's go. There we go. Marta has also done an exemplary job managing San Juan County's derelict vessel program and prevented 14 vessels from sinking in the past 2 years. Her work has addressed long-standing knowledge gaps and will be vital for informing vessel traffic safety decisions within our fragile marine ecosystems and our place-based island communities in the Salish Sea. Congratulations on your legacy award, Marta. Conor Keeney, Spill Response Program Manager with Marathon Petroleum, is our next award winner. Conor Keeney was nominated for his outstanding contributions in preparedness planning and relationship building across the state boundaries. He works as a supervisor for Marathon Petroleum Emergency Preparedness Group. He is the lead drill designer for Oregon and Washington and supports drill planning in Alaska and California as well. Conor uses technology, relationships, and attentive understanding of response community priorities to improve response. Conor currently is on the board secretary for the Islands Oil Spill Association and has been a key contributor to the revitalization of IOSA, which is a model for a community-based nonprofit response group. Through his work, Conor brings industry support into the remote communities of the San Juan Islands. In drills, Conor has focused on strengthening tribal and local participation in his drills. When he invites partners into drills, he also works to ensure that his drill objectives are forward-leaning and result in community lessons learned. In a vital worst-case drill in early 2021, Conor set an objective to develop an understanding of issues in a large oil spill faced by many of the coastal tribes in Washington, and to staff the unique position of tribal coordination specialist of liaison. The lessons learned from this drill are being formalized and will be presented to the RRT Region 10 Tribal Subcommittee, which covers Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. Conor is also on the board of directors for the Clean Rivers Cooperation on the Columbia River and Willamette River in Washington and Oregon. His successful relationship building has brought support from the cooperative and from the U.S. Coast Guard, the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality, and the Washington Department of Ecology. He has also increased their response capability in wildlife response and non-floating oil response. He provides meaningful contributions to preparedness and response capabilities in multiple jurisdictions through his successful community relationship building and innovation and influence. Thank you, Conor, for all you do to build community involvement and implementation of the best responsible practices on the West Coast. Best response practices on the West Coast. Congratulations, Conor, on your legacy award. Our next Legacy Award winner is Ken Lee, the National Senior Science Advisor, Fisheries and Oceans Canada. In his role as National Senior Science Advisor for Oil Spill Research, Preparedness and Response, Ken established the Multi-Partner Research Initiative as part of the Federal Oceans Protection Plan. This initiative, MPRI, fosters cooperative research with academia and the private sector with the aim to develop the next generation of qualified responders and to generate innovative products and tools. As a renowned world-class expert and a leader in oil spill response research, Ken is knowledgeable in many fields of marine oil response. The MPRI program supports many research projects to promote collaboration and collaborative research between academia, government, and industry at the national and international levels. These connections include major oil spill response organizations, Department of Fisheries, Oceans Canada, Canadian Coast Guard, Environment and Climate Change Canada, and others, plus a few environmental consulting companies and academic institutions. Ken is always willing to provide mentorship to junior researchers and graduate students. He offers insightful suggestions to researchers and students, and he encourages them to establish collaborations with different government agencies and industry partners related to oil spill response. Ken is leading and spearheading innovative projects that will improve oil spill prevention, preparedness, and response. His steadfast leadership and mentorship will leave a legacy within our field. Congratulations, Ken, on your Legacy Award. Jed Muscat, who is a senior environmentalist scientist, GIS coordinator at California OSPR, is our next Legacy Award winner. Jed was the second hire into the early OSPR GIS program back in 1993. He has led its growth and development from those early years, creating paper maps and figures during emergency response, to the current 6-person team of GIS remote sensing and programming experts. Jed was a pioneer in the integration of remote sensing by the GIS team. Now, with multiple FAA licensed pilots, the OSPR unmanned aerial vehicle team operates a fleet of UAVs statewide. This work has allowed detailed site mapping as well as wildlife reconnaissance in areas too dangerous to deploy people. Jed has continually pushed technology growth and application for spill response. He has overseen the design and development of numerous spill response tools that have greatly enhanced the common operating picture to the unified command. One example is Scatalog. It is an application to expedite and optimize scat mapping in the field and in post-processing. This allows responders to more quickly address the state of the shoreline oiling and cleanup. Scatalog was specifically designed to be available worldwide and free of charge. The second tool is the wildlife recovery application, which has provided substantial improvements for wildlife operations during spill response by connecting field operations with care operations. Both applications allow the seamless and secure sharing of data and imagery with the unified command. His passion and his work has made Judd an indelible mark on the efficiency and effectiveness of spill response in Canada, in California, and on protecting the natural resources that depend on us. Judge will be retiring this year after 27 years of dedicated state service. He has supported all the major oil spills in California during that period and was deployed to Louisiana for Deepwater Horizon, where his GIS expertise was needed. His career started with paper maps and thumbtacks, and he will leave a legacy of technological advancements that are invaluable in the common operating picture and in oil spill response. Congratulations, Judd, on your retirement and your Legacy Award. Our next Legacy Award winner is Susan Staub, the Director of Science and Research with the Cook Inlet Regional Citizens Advisory Council. Susan is the Director of Science and Research for Cook Inlet RCAC. I want to share an anecdote that John Harper shared about his first meeting with Sue in 2001. They met in a parking lot garage in Bellingham, going around and around looking for a parking spot. Their conversation went something like this. Sue, I like to do shore zone in Alaska. John, pragmatically, how much money do you have? Sue, $30,000. John, well, how much shoreline do you expect to survey? Sue, oh, I want to do all of Alaska and I want to post it. I want to post all of the imagery. 10 years later, 78,000 kilometers of Alaska's 83 kilometers of shoreline has been imaged and mapped using Shore Zone Protocol. With this web-based accessible tool, high-def videography, and tens of thousands of high-res photos that can be downloaded, this data set is routinely used in response planning and in actual responses. Cheryl Futz of CPRO is quoted as saying, when the phone rings in the middle of the night and the caller says, ship aground at such and such a location, the first thing I do is reach for my laptop to check the shore zone and print imagery and mapping data for my flight to the site at first light. Sue has been a driving force in improving oil spill response capabilities beyond her connections to the Cook Inlet RCAC and the Oil Spill Recovery Institute. She has long been an advocate for completing shore zone mapping of the entire coast of Alaska and has worked hard to incorporate the shore zone data into oil spill response tools, including environmental sensitivity index maps. She has developed a robust system that includes inlet circulation and oceanography, fate and effects of oil, education and outreach to stakeholders. Sue has a knack for pulling together organizations and researchers and partnerships to address the oil spill related research needs in the Cook Inlet area and elsewhere. Through her work at Cook Inlet RCAC, she has become a well-known and respected expert in the field of oil spill response and is sought after to sit on national review panels and workshops. Her success can be attributed to her tireless persistence and relentless partnership building over the last 20 years. Congratulations, Sue, on your Legacy Award. Our next Legacy Award winner is Gary Shigenaka, who recently retired as being senior marine biologist with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. For over 40 years, Gary represented NOAA as a scientist and an oil spill response specialist. He was a biologist for the Emergency Response Division of the Office of Response and Restoration. Gary's primary responsibility was to provide scientific support to the U.S. Coast Guard for oil spill response in U.S. coastal waters. He provided biological and shoreline assessment support during hundreds of oil spills across the country and internationally. He also engaged in scientific research that substantially advanced the knowledge and capabilities of the spill response community. Gary's response tenure was bookended by the two most significant oil spills in U.S. history, the 1989 Exxon Valdez in Prince William Sound, Alaska, and the 2010 Deepwater Horizon spill in the Gulf of Mexico. A prolific and admired author, Gary has published over 500 technical reports, publications, and papers on the science and application of spill-related research. Another exceptional accomplishment was his screenwriting for and directing of the award-winning documentary, Hindsight and Foresight, 20 Years After the Exxon Valdez Spill. The film reviewed the significant spill, showed how it changed U.S. law and regulations, and identified our changes for the future. It garnered several awards and featured at the Paris International Environmental Film Festival. I enjoyed crossing paths with Gary at numerous workshops and forums and during my participation in NOAA's excellent training on the science of oil spills. And last year, he created a thoroughly interesting and entertaining lecture on the history of oil spills that was shared via NOAA's You Don't Know What You Don't Know series. If any of you missed it, it's probably available on NOAA's website and is totally worth digging up to watch. It is fantastic. I have no idea what the story is behind this photo, but I had to include it. Clearly, Gary's a very valuable resource to these guys. Gary left a wonderful legacy of oil spill response work and research behind when he retired this past year. Gary, the best of luck in your retirement and congratulations on your legacy award. So those are our individual award winners, and our 9th award goes to a team: Vince Mitchell, Planning Section Chief, and Cheryl Surface, an Operations Section Chief, both who are independent contractors. So Cheryl Surface is a Planning Section Chief, a role she serves as an independent contractor, and Vince Mitchell is an Operations Section Chief, also an independent contractor. Both Vince and Cheryl are all-star standouts in the field of professional spill management teams. Why do these two positions matter? Because they can make or break a response and are the positions that up-and-coming responders can learn the most from. In 2019, the Washington State Department of Ecology created new regulations for spill management teams. They recognize that some of their most experienced responders, those who got their big spill experience at the Exxon Valdez, are retiring and taking with them essential institutional knowledge of the community. Vince is a highly skilled operations section chief and an expert in oil recovery methods and how to maximize the effectiveness of equipment and tactics. I don't know the story behind this photo either, but I'm sure it's intriguing. Cheryl is an accomplished and proficient planning section chief. She is unflappable under stress and knows how to motivate and organize people and run a very tight ship in terms of the ICS process. Vince and Cheryl are being recognized for their contributions to build ICS skills in a new generation of responders and for their spill management team capability through strong practices, mentoring, training, and coaching. Their impact is felt now and will continue well into the future. Congratulations on your legacy award, Vince and Cheryl. So here are our legacy award winners this year. And what I'd like to do is invite you to visit our Taskforce website to see our past Legacy Award winners. You'll see the whole lineup of who has won them over the years, and in addition to our latest award winners, and find out more information about the next round, which will be coming up in 2023. So with that, I'm going to end my show and invite my friends Geoff, Curtis, Marta, Conor, Ken, Judd, Susan, Gary, Vince, and Cheryl, those of you who are on the call, to all flip on your video. And I think there's going to be a way, oh yeah, you all pop up in the first page of view. If you folks at home want to click your view to gallery, you'll see the Hollywood Squares version of all of us with our Legacy Award winners up there on the screen. Fantastic. I'm going to invite you one at a time to just, say a few words. We've got 15 or so minutes left, so we'd love to hear from you. So why don't I start with Geoff Backman? Do I see?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I think first I want to say I'm very humbled to be awarded this amongst some pretty amazing and well-deserving people. It sounds like these people are obviously doing very great work, all the way from Alaska, BC, into California, Oregon, over to Hawaii. And it's a great feeling that these people exist in these positions, and that it's making our Pacific Coast a much safer place, both in policy and in action in the event of a spill. And I can't say thank you enough. It's a wonderful thing, and thank you to the person that nominated me. It's a really wonderful thing here, guys. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome, Geoff. Thank you so much for joining us today too, to give us a glimpse of yourself. This is great. How about Kurt Klumpner?
Hi. Again, I'll just say what Geoff said, thank you very much. I'm deeply honored to win a legacy award, and especially touching to be here with Gary and Judd and Ken and Jeffrey and all of the other winners. Vince, so many people that I've worked with over the years in my career. It really means a lot more winning it with them. I feel very lucky to have just had the chance to work with so many pioneers in my field and be mentored by them, and also to work with a lot of inspiring volunteers in oiled wildlife response from around the world, and learn so much about different species from all of them. So thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you again. And good luck on your retirement. I imagine you're out there having a blast. Next up is Marta Green. Don't know if I see her on the screen. Marta, are you there? Okay, we'll circle back.
Working on getting her there, Sarah. She had not gotten the upgrade yet.
Okay, gotcha. We'll just hang tight for a moment.
Marta, if you see that invite pop up on your screen, you want to click OK and you can join.
Maybe what I'll do is I will go on to Conor Keeney, and then we'll circle back to you, Marta, once you've joined. Conor.
She's on right now.
Oh, okay. Pause that idea. Let's go back and hear from Marta.
We've got her. Let's see.
All right.
There we go.
Sorry, sorry about that.
No problem.
I should be coming on now. Sorry about that. Yeah. Hi. Thank you, Sarah, and thanks to the selection committee members recognizing the small county role in our regional spill prevention policy. I kind of thought my legacy was done before I joined the county, having worked on global remediation projects from the north coast of Scotland to an atoll at the equator, but it's really been very rewarding to have transitioned into this conservation of the Salish and being able to focus on oil spill prevention. So my two projects have now answered some longstanding questions on that have challenged having an emergency response towing vessel here for response to Harrow Strait and Boundary Pass. So we've demonstrated the cost benefit business case and that a rescue tug would be effective, responding in time to prevent a disabled vessel from grounding in over 80% of the cases that we modeled. So I just want to reach out and recognize the contribution of our partners, NUCA Research and Planning Group, the Salish Modeling Center in particular, for these time-critical projects. I mean, we know we cannot rely on vessels being available to the growing number of unescorted, we can't rely on response vessels being available to all of the unescorted vessels. So it's really time to extend the protections that the rescue tug, which has proven successful for our coastal waters, and extend those protections to our inland waters. So my thanks to the task force for highlighting this analysis and helping to promote planning for additional transboundary spill prevention measures. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Marta, for all the good work you do. Really appreciate it. Excellent. Let's hear from Conor Keeney.
So first off, thanks very much to whoever nominated me to include me with such a impressive group of people. You know, it's clearly an honor to have someone out there think that I should be included with a group like this. You know, I think industry has a unique role in that, you know, some of us operate through many of these jurisdictions, and we can serve a role to really, you know, share best practices throughout those regions, while also using our, you know, our requirement to hold exercises, but also to listen to what the local communities and stakeholders would also like to improve upon, and, you know, work to improve local response plans in addition to our oil spill response plans. And last but not least, hopefully she's on here. I don't know if she actually believed that I was getting an award, but, you know, thank you to my mother, who, without her, there clearly would be no sort of award for Conor. So thanks, Mom.
Let's hear it for the
yeah.
moms.
Yeah, it was the values that she installed in me that, hopefully helped get me to this point. So thanks, Mom. Love you.
That's very kind, very sweet. And thank you. You deserve it. You was doing amazing work for our community. So thank you so much, Conor, for all the work you do. Let's hear next from Ken Lee.
Thank you, Sarah. First of all, I'd like to note that, really the citation for my award represents the work of many research collaborators and partners in both the scientific as well as the oil spill response community. And the second thing I want to note is that, the MPRI research program is focused on the application of science, where we're trying to develop new technologies or advanced scientific knowledge for decision making. But recognition from this task force really means a lot to me because it represents the end users. And that's what the science is all about. We can do science and have a lot of fun, but it's really the fact that the end users are taking it up, and that really means a lot to me. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Ken. Amazing body of work you've got underway, and I'm looking forward to following your work into the future. Thank you so much for all your contributions and amazing work. Our next award winner I'd like to welcome is Judd Muscat from OSPR.
Okay. Hi, Sarah, and thanks. This past October 3rd, when I was down in Long Beach responding to this pipeline spill, I realized that October 3rd was actually my 28th anniversary with OSPR. And after being like in quasi isolation for the past 20 months, being in an incident command post, it really reminded me how fortunate I am to be part of an organization populated with such talented professional staff that truly care about the OSPR mission, and they're all in. I mean, every one of them. There's a number of people I need to thank for supporting me over these years. There's several OSPR administrators. Tom Cullen, for the last 9 years, has been extremely supportive. Harlan Henderson, Carlton Moore, and Pete Bonadelli, who started it all back in the 90s and had the foresight to bring GIS into OSPR. Julie Yamamoto, who provided me funding over all these years for my various research projects. My research colleagues at Ocean Imaging, Jan Svikovsky and Mark Hess. And then really all the OSPR GIS staff, past and present. Without them, none of this would have happened. Notably Randy Imai, who they said I was the second hire. Well, Randy was the first, and he's since retired. Isaac Oshima, who is the mastermind behind, or the coder behind our wildlife app and Scatlog, which is being used to this moment. I see these files are coming in today from scatting along the beaches down there. And the current staff, the current GIS staff, Guffey, Lori Gustafson, Drew Caputo, and Greg Ewing, who have been working tirelessly since the beginning of October. So all these people have made what I consider the OSPR GIS team amongst the finest in the oil spill response world.
Right.
So I want to thank the members of the task force for giving me this award, and it's an honor. It's a great honor to receive it. It's good to know that the work that I've done is appreciated. Okay.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I can speak wholeheartedly on behalf of the task force and beyond. Your work has been an incredible asset and contribution. And I personally will miss your contributions to the R&D work group, although
Yeah.
I too am going to be moving on. It's been great over the years, Judd, to get to know you through that work group and the sharing of new and emerging technologies, so forth. So
Okay.
yeah.
One more though.
Yes, go for it.
Gene Cameron, who talked me into working on this workshop years and years ago.
Awesome. Okay, excellent. Fantastic. Okay, so on to Susan Sopp from Cook Inlet Regional Council's RCAC.
Thank you. It's a real privilege to receive this award, and I want to thank the task force and my nominator, Dr. John Harper, who is a true legend, and the colleagues who wrote kind words in support of John's submission. It's very meaningful to me that I received the award in part for relentless partnership building. CIRCAC, which is the Cook in that RCAC, has been most successful when we take to heart one of Open90's intents in creating the RCACs, and that is to establish long-term partnerships of industry, government, and local communities. We're a small organization and most powerful when we do lead by example and leverage our experience, energy, and funding. Our board of directors' support of new ideas and willingness to take risks, investing in the development of demonstration projects, has led to some very significant improvements in oil spill prevention, preparedness, and response. And that includes turning our initial $30,000 demonstration project money, which seemed like a joke at the time that we could eventually do all of Alaska, but here we are. So I really appreciate the support of the board in being willing to invest in these kind of unknown demonstration projects. My colleagues at CIRCAC, and especially my boss, our executive director, Mike Munger. Thank you to them, and thank you to the Pacific States BC Oil Spill Task Force for this honor. And not to be outdone, my mom has been living with me for the last 6 months, and she's sitting here out of view of the camera. And I want to thank her for being brave back in the 1950s and moving to work in small villages in Western Alaska on the TB vaccination program. So here we are full circle with a whole different epidemic, but I want to thank her for all of her support.
Hey, bravo, Susan's mom. We're glad to have you in the background there, and big kudos to you as well from all of us. Thank you, Susan, and congratulations again. Let's move on to Gary Shigenaka, also now retired, but I'm so glad you're here and stepped out of retirement into the Zoom camera for another visit.
Oh, how could I miss it, Sarah?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And hello, everyone. This is really the capstone on a long career, and it's really terrific. I'm especially honored to be here, virtually here, in the company of all these other folks, many of whom I know and have worked with, and many I consider my friends. So it's really great. I had an ex-colleague call me and congratulate me, and I told him jokingly that, well, Legacy Award, that must mean that I'm really old. And he responded by saying, well, it's better than a Lifetime Achievement Award, which would mean that you're nearly dead. So with that perspective, I enthusiastically embrace my Legacy Award and all of its implications. I would like to thank, in particular, my old agency, NOAA, and my old division, the Emergency Response Division, or HAZMAT, or HUMRAD, however you want to call it. Without the institutional platform that NOAA provided and the support that my division gave me, I wouldn't have had the career that I had or been able to do all the things that I did. And even though some of that may be because my managers really had no clue what I was up to, but in any event, thank you to NOAA for mostly looking the other way for the really off the wall stuff. It really was a great ride. So thank you, everyone. And Sarah, thank you so much for all the hard work you've put in over the years.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll wait back at you, Gary. And like I said, there's some good stories in those photos that maybe someday we can get caught up and exchange a few laughs. But thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations on your Legacy Award. We will now move to Cheryl and Vince, who are our team category winners. And why don't we start with Cheryl, and then they'll hand the mic to Vince.
Thank you, Sarah, and all the members of the task force for all the work you do. I'm honored and humbled for Vince and I to be included in the list of well-respected Legacy Award winners. We have long been involved in oil spill training and response, and our success is due to our collaborative partnerships with our federal, provincial, state, local, tribal, First Nations organizations, as well as industry and contractors. If there's one lesson I've learned, it's that it takes a team of professionals with really great attitudes for success. Vincent and I have been able to form a partnership based on mutual respect and friendship. Thank you to the staff at Washington Department of Ecology for our nomination and continued support. When I look at the list of previous winners, I see those that truly know what it means to be a team. Receiving the Legacy Award is a great honor. Also makes me realize, like you, Gary, that I'm not as young as I think. So thank you so much for this award. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for all your hard work, Cheryl. Yeah. And Vince.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Again, like many of the other recipients, it's really humbling to be nominated and truly an honor to receive a Legacy Award. When you look back at the people that have received it in the past and the current recipients, it's very good company. But events like this kind of make you look back over your career and makes you feel old. For one thing, I see a lot of gray in the beards and of the current recipients. But as I look back in this field of oil spill prevention, preparedness, and response, probably the most rewarding moments have been kind of when the light bulb has gone on with people, with responders, people that you've mentored, and because they're the future. They're the future of our business. So it's really been an honor to work in this role. And again, thank you for this Legacy Award.
Well, thank you again for all your hard work, and we appreciate everything you've done to help improve the response preparedness across our region with the spill management team trainings and so forth. So thank you for all the work you've done as a team and as individual contractors. With that, big round of applause, everybody, for your Legacy Awards and all the work you've done. And you are going to receive a framed Legacy Award certificate that should be in the mail to you in the day or two. You should hopefully get that nice package. So find a nice blank spot on your wall and put it up there prominently. And